The storm has passed, but we're still answering your Hurricane Irma related questions and verifying some promises making the rounds on social media.
Powerful Hurricane Maria has its sights set on Puerto Rico, but I'll let you know why I don't think it's going to be a big threat for us here in Florida.
Police are gearing up for another night of protests in St. Louis after a former police officer is acquitted of murder. First tonight, a news alert from the Georgia Tech campus in Atlanta. Police are warning students to stay inside because of violent protests there. It appears a car was set on fire at some point, but authorities have not yet given any details about these protests tonight. The riot broke out less than an hour after the candlelight vigil began for a student there. Police shot and killed 21-year-old Scout Schultz after investigators say Schultz refused to put down a knife and kept walking toward the officers. State investigators say Schultz also made the 911 call before the encounter with police. Investigators say the student left behind 3 suicide notes.
Thanks for joining us on Nightside this Monday night, the first day back for a lot of people, getting back to normal after Hurricane Irma.
Thankfully.
We're so glad to have you. I'm Carolina Leid.
And I'm Katie McCall. Most kids are back in school or getting ready to head back tomorrow. Little by little, the power is coming back on.
But we know you still have a lot of questions about recovering from Irma, especially with some misleading information floating around on social media.
Yeah, so the 10 News Hurricane Help Hub has been working hard to verify some of those claims that you might have seen online. The first has been shared by people all over Florida and even in Georgia. The image reads, if you went 2 or more days without power, FEMA is refunding $250. You just need to call the FEMA number. Share to let your friends know. Well, people are sharing it, but FEMA says, yeah, this is false. They do not cover losses from power outages. But that doesn't mean you can't apply for other kinds of help from FEMA. The website you should remember, though, is disasterassistance.gov. There, you can put in your address to find out if you qualify and apply for individual assistance. We know it's available in Hillsborough, Manatee, Sarasota, Hernando, Citrus, and Highlands counties. Now, this next rumor has been going around as a text message, and people are mentioning it on Facebook. It claims if you follow a few steps, Duke Energy will waive or lower your electric bill. That steps involve paying by an e-check with a specific routing number, but Duke Energy is not claiming that this is true. So it's not a legitimate way to pay your bill. And Katie, you talked to Duke and found out a little bit more about this process for the people who might have tried it watching right now.
Yeah, so this was a little tricky because when you go through the process, it's going to look like it worked, but it actually doesn't. So let me tell you what Duke told me. Here's what happens. Customers will enter that routing number. They see a credit or a payment on the account, but Duke says this is actually what's called a phantom routing number, meaning it's not tied to any sort of payment account. Once Duke's system recognizes the routing number isn't tied to any source of payment, it cancels that pending credit or payment. And guess what? It automatically treats this as a returned payment. It automatically assesses a return payment fee to the customer of at least $30, Alex. So customers who use this, you don't have to worry. Duke will remove the fee, and it's actively working to block those phantom routing numbers, which they tell me they've seen in the past. The one thing you need to realize, though, is you will have to go back and pay your entire bill in full.
Yeah, and the big takeaway also is if you owe money, if you still need assistance in recovering from this hurricane, you have to go directly to the source. Don't trust something that you find on your timeline. You never know if that's going to be true. And also, if you're looking for that phone number for the electric company or for FEMA, we've got all that information on our website.
Better source.
Yeah, WTSP.com. All true.
Yeah. All right, and if you don't have any other questions, if you do have any other questions or you see something you'd like 10 News to verify, you can email it to us at tips@WTSP.com.
Alex and Katie, it's interesting how fast that information floats around social media. FPL is now facing a class action lawsuit over Hurricane Irma power outages. It was filed on behalf of 2 people who live in Miami-Dade County and still don't have power. The lawsuit claims FPL breached contracts with customers by collecting a storm fee, but not adequately preparing for the inevitable hurricane power outages. So, for example, lawyers want to know why the company didn't work harder to bury more power lines in the 12 years since Hurricane Wilma. But FPL says it spent more than $3 billion strengthening the power grid and was able to restore power to customers 4 times faster than it did after Wilma. Now a court will decide whether the company can be held responsible. And parts of the Caribbean that haven't even begun to recover from Hurricane Irma are under storm warnings for Maria. People are being evacuated from St. Thomas ahead of the Category 5 storm, but some people are staying there. Puerto Rico's government has started rationing basic supplies like water, canned food, batteries, and flashlights. A direct hit could cut power to Puerto Rico for weeks. And meteorologist Bobby Deskins is here with the latest on Maria, keeping a close eye on that storm, Bobby.
Yeah, guys, that video out of St. Thomas is unbelievable. It looks like it's wintertime there. They don't have wintertime with no leaves on the trees there. It just blew all the leaves off. That was Irma. This right here is what we're watching now. That is Maria. And guys, it's a Category 5 storm with 160-mile-per-hour winds as of 11 o'clock. That is Dominica right there. You can see Guadalupe. I think the northern eye wall will get over Guadalupe here this evening, and then it's off towards the north and the west towards Puerto Rico. Here's the forecast track from the Hurricane Center as of 11 o'clock tonight. Category 5 tomorrow, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and then likely somewhere in that range, 155 to 160 at landfall in the southeastern part of Puerto Rico Wednesday, and then weakening with the mountains, but just a little bit, the mountains of Puerto Rico, and then off the coast of Puerto Rico. And here's what's important for us. Does it turn? Right now it looks like it does, and that'll be happening as we get into Friday night and into Saturday. I'll show you why and what we can expect from it coming up.
And Bobby, this is shocking. As Hurricane Maria made landfall, the Prime Minister of the tiny island Dominica posted on Facebook about what he was experiencing. Roosevelt Scarrett posted on Facebook an hour ago, "My roof is gone. I'm at the complete mercy of the hurricane. House is flooding." Moments later, he posted, "I've been rescued." Dominica is home to about 74,000 people. The island was brushed by Irma, but didn't take a direct hit last week.
Alex, trapped in her own yard, a Pinellas County grandmother hasn't been able to leave her home ever since Hurricane Irma blew down a huge tree in her front yard, blocking the only opening in the fence around that home. Nancy Settle says neighbors, they've been stopping by offering to remove that tree, but they can't. They realize the tree is resting on and is entangled in live power lines.
I'm stuck. I've been here since Saturday.
What's it like with your grandma not being able to leave the house?
It's kind of frustrating and sad. It's just kind of heartbreaking that she can't get out.
What a cutie. Listen to this. Those grandkids have been jumping over the fence to bring grandma back food from the grocery store. Good news tonight, though. 10 News contacted Pinellas County Emergency Services, who came out to check on the family. Fire crews used chainsaws to clear a path to the family's fence, and Duke Energy is due back out tomorrow to remove the rest of the tree so they can get in and out safely without worrying about the power line overhead.
Police need your help finding a woman. The reason they want to find this woman right here is they say she violently attacked another woman. This happened in St. Pete as this woman was preparing for Hurricane Irma. Take a closer look. Police say this woman approached the victim in a Lowe's parking lot on September 9th. She offered to help load supplies into the victim's car in exchange for gas money. Then she followed the victim home and attacked her, stealing her purse. Oh, no. Police say there was another person with the suspect, but did not give any description of that person. So if you think you know who this woman is, this woman on the screen, please call the police.
Right now, the search is on for a Sarasota teenager last seen Labor Day weekend. Sarasota police issued a missing child alert for this 14-year-old. Nightside reporter Jason Puckett joins us now with how the community is coming together to find him.
A 14-year-old Jabez Spahn was last seen outside his grandmother's house at the start of the month. Today, folks hanging flyers just across the community to try and get the word out that something is wrong. Sarasota police say Spahn is about 5'9" and weighs about 120 pounds. He has black hair, brown eyes, and was last seen wearing a turquoise shirt. The police department reversed 911, pinged all the phones in the area, even tracking Spahn's phone for a while, but so far they have no leads.
I, as a mom, can't even imagine the pain that his grandmother and his mom are going through right now, not knowing where he is. We're leaving no rock uncovered. We're going to do everything we can to be able to determine his location.
And now police and members of the local Black Lives Matter movements are hoping you'll share the word as well and ask anyone who's seen Spahn or knows where he might be to call Sarasota police. Back to you.
President Trump is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly. Tomorrow he'll speak to the group for the first time. Along with his America First vision, the president is expected to tackle foreign policy challenges like North Korea and Iran's nuclear ambitions. Ahead of his speech, the president hosted a dinner with Latin American leaders. He also met with French President Emmanuel Macron and talked about Middle East peace with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. President Trump called on other countries to join him in enacting reforms at the UN.
We encourage all member states to look at ways to take bold stands at the United Nations.
The leaders from France and Israel will also address the UN General Assembly tomorrow.
There is another push to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, in the Senate. The bill will need support from 50 of the 52 Republican senators to pass. The deadline is September 30th. That's when special procedure rules expire, and any health care reform would need 60 votes to pass, which is impossible without support from Democrats. The Congressional Budget Office announced this afternoon it won't be able to score the new reform bill by that deadline. The CBO score is what a lot of lawmakers use to determine how it will impact voters in their state. All eyes are on 3 Republican senators: John McCain from Arizona, Susan Collins from Maine, and Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. So far, they're undecided, but their no votes killed the last Republican plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Here are some stories you need to know tonight.
The commander of the Navy's Pacific Fleet and one of his subordinates has been fired. The decision comes after 2 recent deadly collisions involving Navy ships near Japan and Singapore. The 2 accidents claimed the lives of 17 sailors, and the 2 ships were heavily damaged.
Several hundred protesters took to the streets of St. Louis for the 4th night in a row after a white former police officer was found not guilty on Friday in the 2011 shooting death of a black suspect. Tonight, the demonstrators gathered outside of that city's Justice Center, where more than 120 people remain in jail after last night's protests turned violent.
And some good news for Florida drivers. You are still able to get around without paying any tolls. Governor Rick Scott tweeted today the tolls will remain suspended as the state continues to recover from Hurricane Irma. The governor suspended tolls before Irma made landfall to help with evacuations, and many of those people are still making their way home.
That's right. There are also convoys of special supply trucks and repair trucks traveling all throughout our state.
Most of our area was once again spared by major hurricane destruction. Guys, listen to this. It's why you listen to history. Some Floridians believe the sacred Tocobaga Indians had something to do with it.
Lots of them do.
Yep. We sent Nightside reporter Stephanie Ramirez to investigate.
No, it's closed, but it doesn't look like there's that much damage here at Philippi Park. We saw maybe 1 or 2 trees down from the front entrance.
It really doesn't. It just doesn't surprise me.
The me is Laura Dent. She hosts the Safety Harbor Ghost and History Tours. Is it real?
I feel it's very much real, and here's our testimony. If you drive around, you will see that a lot of trees did come down, but they missed the houses.
Tampa Bay blessed by the Tocobaga Indians once again. That's what Dent believes. The native tribe's capital village sat where Safety Harbor is today, and these are the steps leading to a sacred 20 to 30-foot burial mound. Our news partners, the Tampa Bay Times, says these were found from the Gandy Bridge along the peninsula to the Gulf Coast. But good luck from a cemetery?
People go to the cemeteries to talk to their relatives. You know, even though our loved ones have passed, there's still, I feel, a connection.
A spirit Dent says is the reason why Tampa Bay hasn't seen a direct hurricane hit since 1929.
All the Native American tribes had little nicknames the Spaniards gave them, and they called them gentle giants. And they said they were gentle because they hated warfare.
I've never been hit by lightning either, so how do you explain that? The same statistic. There's no explanation for what Mother Nature does.
Not everyone believes it.
But Safety Harbor, safe harbor. Even the pirates came here because it was a safe harbor.
In Pinellas County, Stephanie Ramirez, 10 News.
Well, Bobby, I hope that luck continues. I love that story.
We will take it in any form or fashion as it comes. So, yeah.
Of course, I'm looking at Maria. What in the world? No.
For those poor people in the islands, yeah, tonight really under the gun, Guadalupe and Dominica as well, and then Puerto Rico, I think, as we get into late tomorrow night into Wednesday. Let's get our local weather out of the way, then we'll talk tropics, because you know what, guys, we've lucked out. We're fairly quiet here. It's quiet out there right now. Temperatures are actually a little bit cooler than where they have been running. We're about 80 degrees now, but we're going to wake up in the lower to mid 70s again tomorrow morning. I mean, that's where we were for many places this morning. Dew point 69 degrees. That's the reason why. When you can't get really below the dew point, you can't. You'll get 100% humidity, you get fog. So when that number drops, it means your lower temperatures can drop. Rain free? Yeah, just about everybody. Some showers over on the East Coast. We saw a couple sprinkles come through Hardy, DeSoto counties, mainly DeSoto than anything else. But we're not looking at any more rain right now. That Withlacoochee River still forecast to continue to rise, although it's going to rise just a little bit, about 17 1/3 feet right now, going up to about 17.6 feet by Wednesday, and then kind of hanging out there through Friday into Saturday. So if you live along that river, it's coming up a little bit more, and then it will hang out through the rest of the weekend, then slowly start to subside. All right, here we go with the forecast for tomorrow morning. Nice and quiet out there, kids on the bus, getting back to school, getting back to work, getting back to normal for many folks, slowly for some. But you can see by the afternoon, we do have a slightly better chance for showers. Southern Polk County, Highlands, Hardy, DeSoto, Manatee, especially Sarasota County. So there's about a 30% chance. St. Pete, Tampa, Lakeland, it's only about 10 to 20% chance, and even less than that if you're living in Pasco, Hernando, or Citrus County. That was Tuesday. This is Wednesday afternoons, very similar. Small rain chance south of I-4. Most areas will stay dry. It's going to stay hot all the way through too, guys. The average high this time of year is about 89 degrees. We'll be closer to about 91 to 92, both Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday will start to bring back a little bit better chance for some showers in the afternoon. And that's as those dew points start to slowly creep back up Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. So afternoon showers and storms are a little bit better bet. Now we're right on the cusp of the end of the rainy season, which happened last year, the last week of September. So we're just about there almost. So we're getting kind of close to it. All right, here's the tropics. Jose, we need Jose to hang out here. There's Maria, of course, and Lee. Lee's just about falling apart. They're done issuing on it right now from the Hurricane Center. So here's the big issue, of course. There's Dominica. You can see right there on the northern eye, the eye's right on the northern coast. Guadalupe, the eye wall's right in here. That's going to move right over the southern coast of Guadalupe and then back off towards Puerto Rico overnight tonight and tomorrow. Really not getting here until Wednesday morning. But this is very warm water here. The atmosphere is prime, less shear, high pressure aloft. It's going to continue to stay very, very strong. And the forecast calls for that from the Hurricane Center. There's tomorrow night 160 mile per hour winds. That's where we're at right now, Cat 5. Wednesday night, though, Cat 4 with 145 mile per hour winds. That's after coming across these mountains of Puerto Rico. So they're going to knock it down a little bit. That means southeastern Puerto Rico is going to take a hard hit. The whole island will, but especially the southeastern part. And then look at this, through the Turks and Caicos, maybe just to the east with the center. Right now, hurricane force winds only go out 30 miles from the center. That's incredible. That's a small area, but for the islands it's crossing right now, they're in the eye there, so they're going to see it. You can see the modeling does try and turn it to the north. Same thing, it's because of Jose. Jose is weakening the ridge here, and it's going to loop around, and that basically opens the door for Maria to come up and go out. That's the thought process right now. I'm buying into it. Most of the modeling's buying into it. I'm going to watch it, though. It's not 100%, but it's a pretty good bet that that's what's going to happen. So good news for us, but I'll watch it for you. Don't you worry about it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, give me some of those afternoon showers and storms. Enjoy them if you like them because, again, that rainy season's getting close to an ending.
See those people get hit again. Just so unfortunate.
Those small islands.
Yeah, we've been taking time to recognize the hurricane heroes here who are helping their communities get back to normal after Hurricane Irma.
So for those who are just trying to get back on their feet, finding a hot meal is really difficult. And that's why this mobile kitchen is such a relief. The Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Group is making thousands of meals. The Red Cross is helping to deliver them. Hundreds of volunteers set up at Idlewild Baptist Church in Lutz. The menu, chicken and dumplings, and as you can see there, there's some canned beans, but they of course are delicious is what I'm hearing. They're getting hot, freshly prepared meals to the people in 7 of our Bay Area communities.
I go away from these events feeling that I didn't give enough. Even though I come away tired, these people that's lost everything they have, and to give them a good flavored meal, you know, something seasoned, and give them a better outlook on what's to come.
And it's a long day for the people who are helping out. Since Hurricane Irma made landfall, the Red Cross and its partners have served more than 500,000 meals and snacks.
Now, from your Suncoast Hyundai dealers, this is 10 Sports.
So here's some food for thought. Clinton McDonald is a hero. When the Bucs defensive tackle returned home post-Irma, his home had power and food. Countless others do not. So McDonald purchased a food truck to feed the hungry. Nothing like a warm meal when watching the Bucs beat the Bears.
Everybody was kind of itching to get out there. You know, we kind of got held back by the hurricane, and I don't think it was something that really hindered us, but it made us realize, you know, this is a blessing to be able to play this game and be able to contribute to the NFL. So I knew we wanted to come out here and be physical on the field.
Great stuff by Clinton. The Zoo is back in town. For the first time since he left the Rays for the Cubs, Joe Maddon returns to the Trop tomorrow night. His departure following the 2014 season left fans stunned, angered, yet understanding. Take more money, go to a franchise committed to contending annually. Listen, you'd do it too. So Tampa continued its love affair with Joe Maddon. After all, Joe never really left. In the offseason, Maddon calls Tampa home, owns a restaurant, his wife owns a gym. They make a difference. Maddon's Respect 90 Foundation helps disadvantaged youth throughout the Bay Area. In the Dome, 7 seasons on the Rays bench, 4 playoff appearances, the only manager in club history with a winning record. During his time with the Rays, Joe was like the cool kid in high school. Unlike the movies, when Maddon returns for the reunion, he didn't become a loser. He just kept on winning. A curse breaker whose breakup with the Rays doesn't diminish the most successful era in franchise history. Maddon will receive a standing ovation Tuesday night. So make sure you get your ticket to the Zoo so you could stand too.
Tonight's lottery numbers are brought to you by Dimmitt Chevrolet. See for yourself what hundreds of new and used cars look like. Volume and price make the Dimmitt difference. Visit DimmittChev.com, where luck is on your.
I have a question for all of you and for the two of you as well. So, should linemen, the brave souls who've worked long, hard hours after Hurricane Irma to get us our power back, be recognized as first responders? That question is now being asked in a petition on change.org. The petition states these men rush straight into the storm while others are running away. If that isn't what a brave, courageous first responder looks like, then I truly do not know what does. Now, you told us what you think on our Facebook page. The opinions varied. Carol said, no, I appreciate the work that they do and having power, but first responders are in first because they have the training to do so and handle the situations they may encounter. Tom added, definitely. It was my job for quite a number of years. We all received first aid training and CPR with regular required refresher courses. Andy finally said, how? If you are only naming instances when bad weather arises, first responders are always first responders.
Right.
Come on, sure, they have a tough job, an important job, but no. So
That's
it was an
interesting.
interesting debate.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the points in both directions.
They kind of all made points that I think were
Excellent
valid.
points, yeah, because you look at when your AC is out and you need it, or power for somebody who has medical equipment, they, absolutely
It's
are.
an emergency
And
to you,
it is.
right? I mean,
but the other point is really important, which is it's only in those,
Natural disaster type environments where they truly sort of act like first responders.
So it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think probably more people than not will vote yes. Just a prediction. We'll have to keep an eye on that one.
All right, well, thank you for joining us on Nightside.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.